It's been some time, so why don't we come back with a bang? Do you seek blood, sinner?
To reap!
Do you seek skulls, my dear sinner?
Shall have his tribute, but the worthy are mine!
Do you seek these things? Well, you're not alone in this obsession, no. Let me tell you about him.
These skulls are mine! With each kill, my power grows!
Welcome to my first campaign review in quite some time. Today, I wish to show you Skulltaker, champion of Khorne and slayer of heroes. Let's start off with who is Skulltaker? There are many legends. Some say that he was a man who cut and chopped his way until he reached the citadel of Khorne. Others say he was always a demon and simply earned his title above all other bloodletters. Whatever you choose to believe, we do know that he has slain many, be it man, elf, dwarf, or demon. And he does so wielding the Slayer sword. This blade carved from a shard of Khorne's own wrath. And I don't need to tell you how lethal that blade is, for you will see its strength should you jump into this campaign. Along with the sword, he also has the Cloak of Skulls, fashioned from a specific number of champions that held significance to him, be them close fights or simple worthy foes. Only one has ever escaped him. The legendary Sigmar Heldenhammer. And let me attest, Skulltaker will make every descendant pay in blood for that. A permanent mark mars the demon. A mark of his only defeat. And he will make every emperor pay for that. And dare you wield Galmaraz. Maybe one day you will find the Slayer closer than you might like. In campaign terms, Skulltaker is an assassin, finding and slaying any hero or lord he encounters, using the deadly onslaught to weaken them, with his many buffs and skills to take them down. Few characters can withstand the assault, with maybe Yuan Bo being the only danger to you early game. This is mainly due to him having a similar niche, though he can deploy a ranged ability which can assassinate characters. So that's the only one you really have to worry about, plus his magic, which is one of the few things that can get through your physical resistance so easily. After that though, once you've accumulated buffs and various powers throughout the campaign, this is in essence earned by, well, hero essence. You take this by slaying characters. Legendary lords, when you first slay them, will give you twice as much. So letting your enemies become strong only to destroy them is quite useful for you. And eventually can make you into, simply put, a literal force of nature. This being is, simply put, one of the strongest in setting. One of the mightiest around. And I will confess to you, this campaign will not be a challenge for you. If you're going into this thinking, oh, I want a hard campaign, this isn't the one. Let me explain. Skulltaker becomes ridiculously strong, ridiculously quickly, even by Khorne standards. Your characters in Total War always level fastest by engaging in war. And Khorne only really works if you are continuously in war. Makes sense, right? And for those of you who are a bit newer to Khorne, that might be hard. You might like a downtime. You don't want one though with this. The economy of the Blood God is simple. Death and murder. If you're not doing those things, you aren't engaging in the Khornate economy system. You're engaging in a falsehood. You're engaging in something that will fail. Because Khorne cares not for your bean counters. He cares not for how many accolades you have. He cares for the destruction you wrought, the power you wield to destroy your enemies. So let me make this clear. When you play Skulltaker, you do not go forward into the night, hoping to make friends of everyone. No. You are the slayer of heroes. You are the butcher. The champions fear. You are the reason why many will not overachieve too quickly under Khorne, because you might see them as a worthy foe. Skulltaker will quite often stand upon his mount and await challenges, bellowing insults until they march out, only to get bored eventually. But when he finds his quarry, there is very few who can run from him. Couple this with the new units under your command from the Scaramore tribe, and, well, how shall we say, your mortal compliments are crazy. Skulltaker himself does buff other bloodletters, but I'll be honest with you, he's not a commander. He's a killer. A true killer. A lot of Khorne armies have a leader that is insanely powerful, a beatstick, but not much of a commander. This varies, of course. Skulltaker, much like Skarbrand, is a one-man army. But I'd argue he's better than Skarbrand. Here's why. He's smaller, even mounted, so it's harder to hit him with cannons. He's very quick, especially mounted. And when you kill 40 models, the Cloak of Skulls, when you unlock the ability, will activate. What does this do? Massive missile resistance. Most importantly, though, you become immune to flanking. I don't need to stress to you how powerful a character can get when he cannot run from fear and he's immune to flanking. You cannot scare him, and you cannot flank him. Surrounding him does nothing. Just accelerates how quickly he can murder you. The only thing stopping Skulltaker from wiping out entire units alone is that he's an assassin. So he only hits a few models at a time, but he hits them very hard. That is the only reason why that unit standing in between you and your general is still there. They will tower out, though. Especially with a bunch of exalted bloodletters on your side. Let me tell you. Altogether, oh, he will make mincemeat of them, especially as he gives them frenzy. Yes, for some reason Khorne demons don't get the bonuses of the Mark of Khorne. I will never understand why. Skulltaker at least corrects that injustice by giving them frenzy. So your base bloodletters are already better. Your exalted bloodletters are already more godlike. What's left? Oh, simple. Pack some meat in there. Get some mortals to take the hits for you initially. Warriors of Khorne, very good. Don't bother with marauders, you don't need them. They're a waste of time. You can get demons, you can get better mortals. When you can, chosen. Especially those two new ones, the Wrathmongers and the Skull Reapers. The latter is a nice mid-range anti-armor unit. Not much armor itself though, so be mindful. The former, a near-demonic entity that has heavy anti-armor. Let me be clear, they will destroy anything they touch. And, well, there's one last big friend who can help you, but I'll be honest, he was a little disappointing. The Slaughter Brew, honestly, was a little underwhelming for what I wanted. Compare it to the Mutilith Vortex Beast, this thing's a bit ass. I'm going to be honest with you. It's probably the most disappointing part of Skulltaker's DLC. And, to be honest, I found it to be very saddening. Such a massive, imposing creature should be far more impressive. But he just doesn't have the armor. Now, he does get magical attacks and unbreakable while your lord's alive. This is helpful. Mostly so he can die. But, hey, against demonic units, he's pretty good. But where you're starting is the Lustria Thunderdome. The other demon factions will fall instantly to you. and then you have mortals to contend with. By the time I could unlock those things, I'll be honest, I was uninterested. The only other thing you get is a wonderful priestly lord. An interesting character for Khorne, because, well, a Bloodspeaker is been hinted at in the lore, but not really shown much. These clerics of Khorne. By cleric, I mean a support character. He doesn't use magic, but he does invigorate his troops. Pair him with one of the legendary heroes in this edition, Skarl Bloodwrath, to make your Wrathmongers and Skulltaker Reapers even better. And how shall we say? You will have quite the nice army. Oh, indeed. You will have something very impressive at your hands. An army that can truly crush most things. Wrathmongers are incredible late game. The only thing you must watch are those who dare shoot at you from the sky. So ignore them. To hell with them. They must land eventually. For Khorne will simply await them, with jaws yawning wide. Of course, you can always call upon Karanek to silence those whose abilities are annoying you. That and, well, a little good news for Norska. Yes, that's right, you get something this time. One thing, a legendary hero. Now, it's a Khorne legendary hero, but I don't think anyone's going to be too upset that you get access to Skella Anthemgrim. Skella is a maddened blood beast, which brings me on perfectly to the other unit you've now got as Khorne, a rat ogre-like creature known as a blood beast. They're okay. They're a nice early game monster. And they're, you know what, use them like rat ogres, and you'll be just fine. They're going to fall to the wayside against blood crushers and skull crushers, but use them early game. I enjoyed them. And Skella, well, I liked him so much I gave him the chainsword. Because yes, short campaign victory gives you the chainsword. One thing to note with him, he gets different bonuses depending on which faction you recruit him for. If you recruit him in Chaos, be it Khorne, or be it for Warriors of Chaos, you will get similar bonuses. He will buff a lot of Khornate units, and he's generally quite good. Valkyr can also get him, and Scarlet Bloodwrath as well, so just make note of that. The new Khornate units are available to her too in the Warriors of Chaos. So again, another reason to play Warriors of Chaos. You get more things. Well done, CA. Oh, and of course, Daniel the Demon Prince gets them too, so be the Godslayer if you wish, but for the Blood God. Now, your Blood Speakers will not ascend to Demon Princes. Just to mention, they are clerics, not the champions. It is their job to worship, not to ascend. I believe that's the intent anyway. Now, if you bring Skella in Norska, he buffs Skin Wolves, some of your best units. So make sure you get him, because having various Khornate buffs apply to your Skin Wolves, an already good unit, well, you don't need me to tell you how good that is. Of course, both heroes are beatsticks, powerful destroyers. Skella is more of a unit muncher, whereas Bloodwrath is more of a hero killer. As if you needed another hero killer with Skulltaker present. Other than that, it's the Cloak of Skulls. Each skull gives a bonus, and honestly, they're all worth getting, but the ones I would focus on most is the teleportation, and the ones buffing the initial abilities you have. At least get the second upgrade. The Cloak of Skulls ability is just too good. On top of that, the teleport. Get the teleport as soon as you can. I cannot stress to you enough how liberating it is to get an annoying army and just teleport to it. It uses none of your movement, by the way. One thing you'll note, teleportation seems to be a very common trend in this DLC cycle, as 2 of the lords have access to it. Now, the Orcs don't, and I'll get to them another time. And I'll get to Golg as well. While I'm not saying his full name, Because I can't say it on YouTube. The bots won't like me. Now then, a few little points before I wrap this up. One, your campaign will probably be very quick. Despite the nerfs CA have done, a Khorne campaign is loud, fast, and hard. Like me. But in all seriousness, a Khorne campaign is fast. Skulltaker, I've had him at max level within the first 40-50 turns. He's fighting that often. One of the skulls gives extra XP. Now, they've nerfed that so only he gets it, and I believe the movement improvements as well, from the Skull Cloak at least, are only for him. This was required because his faction was too powerful. But now, I can attest, if you like Khorne, and you want more Khorne, you're doing yourself a disservice not to get this DLC. This DLC is honestly a really good Khorne DLC. The character's fun, the heroes are just workable throughout multiple factions, the units, again, you can use on multiple factions. If you want to kill Skulltaker, great, he's got a nice little buff too. And, well, a certain free LC Lord, which really uses teleportation. We'll get to Arbold another time. Which reminds me, at the time of recording this, I'm preparing myself for a little Arbold Legendary playthrough over on Twitch. Well, I say over on Twitch, I'll be live on YouTube as well, on the live channel. And Kick, and Twitter. Yes, so places to find me. So little time. So, with that all being said, if you want to watch me live and play these characters and yap a lot, and just in general play a lot of Total War or any other game I'm obsessed with at the time, it'll mostly be Total War, I'll be honest, then you know where to find me. But please, do take care of yourselves, and remember, when the call of blood hits you, don't give in, or if you do, you may never let go. That rage will carry you to the ends of the earth, and the violence will be intoxicating. Till next time, bye.